All right, so we're doing a thing about FaceTiming my rich friends for life advice. So basically I have like 5-ish questions for you. How did you make your first million?
When I sold Grasshopper.
I had a web hosting business.
Multiple income streams that all started adding up.
Dude, they've gone down. I lost a lot of money on it. Well, not a lot, but lost like...
I'll buy one of yours when they're low enough.
That's the kind of friend you are. How did you make your first million?
So, I mean, it's honestly kind of boring. I had a company called House of Rave in college that was making me a couple $1,000 per month. And then AppSumo was making very good money. And then also I have a company called Copyright Course. And so I had kind of like multiple income streams that all started adding up. And at the same time, I was also, maxing out my Roth IRA and my savings accounts and all that kind of stuff. And slowly one day you just become, you hit that number.
When I sold Grasshopper, I never had money before that. I just had enough money in the bank to have living expenses, live where I wanted, had the car I wanted, but I never had like money. We sold for $175 million.
I had a web hosting business when I was in high school and college. Then I bought some stocks. And then I worked in a avionics business, my family company. I don't exactly remember like the exact moment that it went over to 1 million. It's not until you actually sell the business.
Oftentimes you don't know that it happens. Like in my case, I remember I didn't know the exact moment that it happened because your money isn't just in like a checking account, right? Your money is spread across like a Roth IRA investment account or something. So if you have a Roth IRA and it increased by 25% because some stock did really well, technically maybe now you're a millionaire and you didn't even know it happened.
Any advice for people that are trying to make their first million?
Well, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't worry about that goal specifically as $1 million, right? Like, how do I have freedom of choice and, whatever amount of money that takes? But I've found that it's really investing in yourself. And that doesn't mean you can't have a job or do things along the journey, but people that make a lot of money have invested in themselves, either their own business or building their own things, right? It could be a portfolio of real estate. It could be 100 other things, but it's all themselves.
I remember even thinking of like, why do you want $1 million? And I think the reason is just like security, stability, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's cool to have a number there to hit. But then once you hit it, it's almost like a lot of goals in life. You're kind of like, that was neat. All right, keep moving.
When did you realize you were rich though? Because I think there's a big disconnect between when people are millionaires versus when they're actually rich.
I had an apartment in New York City that I was paying a lot of money, like $5,000 a month for. And I was trying to rent it out every night for friends that were visiting. Or not for friends, but just for people that were visiting. And a friend of mine was like, why are you trying to get a couple $100? Like, you have all this money. Like, just give it to your friends. Like, why are you trying to stay there?
I think for me, it was when I always wanted to like automate my finances where like money came in from my various little projects and then like I had to pay off my credit card. I pay off all my credit cards every month. I didn't know for sure that I had enough money in it to cover it. So I would have to like check every month, like, okay, how much are all the bills? Do I have to like take money out of some investment or something like that? And then once I got to the point where that could be fully automated, then I felt like, I never have to worry about money again. And I could just kind of do whatever I want to do all day.
I think there was 2 times. One, like knowing that I had freedom to do things, right? So like go on vacation and know within the business someone would do the stuff I needed to get done. And then 2, like being able to make choices like if I want to go somewhere and just pay for it, I can, right? Like go to Greece for 2 weeks or go somewhere and pay and stay anywhere I wanted.
One time going to a last-minute bachelor party in Vegas, and I was like, I don't care what it costs, I'm just going to buy it. The ticket was like $920, and I was like, oh wait, I can afford it. I'm just going to do it. Whereas before, I'd be like, man, I can't go. That made me feel rich, and it wasn't so much the money, it was just like that access and freedom that like I didn't even have to worry what it was going to cost. That felt really good.
Who is the happiest person you know?
It's a lot of people, not necessarily like in the business world, just a lot of my like friends that have like regular jobs and stuff. I think they have a great life. They make a good amount of money, working a great job. They work with cool people. They have kids and a dog. And I think that's pretty great. It's pretty awesome. That's the dream, man.
That's kind of interesting. So it's not necessarily the wealthiest people you know, but it's people that are more just satisfied with their lives. What do you think that is?
Yeah, I think they find happiness in whatever they do.
What I found is that it's really a matter of perception, where it's not even so much are good things happening to you or are bad things happening to you. It's how are you weighting the things that are happening to you and how are you perceiving them? And so it's really a matter of like, are you focusing on the positive things or are you focusing on the negative things? And because it's such a narrow band, it doesn't take much of a change of shift to just like focus on positive things more. And then, it's just a smaller area to move. So for me, what happened was, I kind of forget what even prompted this, but I had this idea that whenever anything bad happened to me, I was going to find something positive about it. So it didn't have to be like so positive that it made it into a positive, but just a silver lining. So like if I had a dog and the dog died, I would be like, well, at least I don't have to pay for food anymore, right? So it would be like, oh, I'm glad my dog died, but you find some positive thing. And I did it for a month, and I felt like it had like some impact. And then I did it for another month, and then I kind of forgot about it on the third month. And I was like, oh man, I used to do that. And then as soon as I thought that, I thought, yeah, but now I have more time. I thought, oh, wait, I'm just doing it automatically.
I don't think it has to do with money really that much. I mean, it helps to have your bases covered, right? Like, money can't buy happiness, but it's really hard to be super happy without a lot of money. Like, you have to have some sort of resources to cover yourself, right?
It's kind of like in elementary school, I remember we got like stickers and stuff like that. And when you hit like money goals, you kind of look around, you're like, anybody? And like, it's kind of internal.
Well, I think the difference is like, because it's all invested somewhere or you have it in a savings account here, you're not like spending $1 million, right? I think when you're a kid, you think like you make $1 million and you're just like, oh, I get to spend it on cars and shoes and whatever. But in reality, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I think as a reward, I bought myself a Kit Kat bar or something.
And then what'd you say about morning routines? You said morning routines suck, but it's more important about something else?
Oh, yeah. So I think morning routines are very dependent on the person. And, like, I have ones that probably are not typical. Right? Like, I wake up and read my phone in bed, which everyone says don't do. I think the more important thing is having a routine and scheduling time, right? Because we have a limited amount of time. So, like, I write my weekly newsletter. Like, that's on my calendar. It says Tuesday do this for 2 hours or whatever. Wednesday finish it, like, and it's blocked out on my calendar the same way I block out my morning routine for the gym.
Love it, dude.
I try to wake up as late as possible. I try to lay in bed as long as possible. The new thing is now I just play on Twitter in the mornings, and that's kind of fun, and look through photos of dogs and stuff like that. And I don't have a morning routine other than I try to drink caffeine at some point on weekdays, and I try to stay in bed as long as I can. I don't know. It differs at different times in your life, right? When I was 20, who the hell knows what my morning routine was? But I think when you have kids and a dog and a wife and all that kind of stuff, there has to be some sort of routine, to get everyone on the same schedule. I think in that case, those people will probably be like, I eat my eggs and bacon at 7 a.m. and I go for a walk at 8. I can totally see that happening in the future. But if you're just by yourself, then I think your routine can be whatever the hell you want it to be. I don't think there's any set routine. I personally don't have one.
Yeah. I think getting good sleep, critical. Like, if you can just get good sleep, you almost have, like, a great day. Like, it's an easy way to start a great day.
Yeah, so I try to stay in as late as I want until I'm, like, awake. Oh, here's one thing. And I think you started doing this, too. Because I would see you waking up in the morning, like, miserable, being like, oh, I gotta work. I'm like, you're the CEO of a giant company. You have to do shit. Like, what are you talking about? Why don't you just tell everyone you want to meet at 1 p.m.? So I moved all my schedules, all my actual appointments, back to 11 a.m. So nothing ever starts on my week before 11 a.m. And then I remember waking up at like 10:30 a.m. trying to roll out of bed for the 11 calls. And I was like, wait, why don't I just make them for 1 p.m.? And so now none of my calls start before 1 p.m. on almost every single day. Not one. Monday morning, I don't have anything that starts until 1 p.m. No.
Most people would call that a homeless, like they...
Oh, I'm borderline. I'm getting there. I'm working my way up.
I'll see you down at the TEDs. If you like this video, you are going to love this video, how I share exactly how I make over $1 million a year. It's pretty damn crazy. I'll see you out there, and I love you.